So the masked stranger isn't your run-of-the-mill nutter. On a visit to Sacred Heart, you discover your mother's maiden name, Hathaway, and confirm she's being held at Bethnal House, a hospital for the mentally infirmed, and a chinwag with Clementine gave you a lead on accessing Bethnal. GG. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call that a GG. I couldn't stop her from, stopping in a shady alley to count money. She really likes to make terrible decisions. You reluctantly raise your eyelids against the leaden light of another day. You find your gaze resting upon a lump of spent candles. The formless wax tendrils, a testament to long nights go by. Took your rest in a four-poster, and the heavy blankets grab you like strong but gentle hands, insisting you return to sleep. The room is warm and musty, but nicely decorated, and heavy drapery on all sides, and beveled glass in the window to block any prying eyes from the street below. Whatever transpired between you and Miss Reed has faded to little more than a dim dream. But your performance at the gaming table returns with crystalline clarity. What a banger that was. Your spirits rise and you abruptly sit up, only to find the bells of St. Clement's thundering inside your skull. But the promise of fat pockets and easy living, at least for a while, tempers the punishing hangover. With renewed purpose, you slowly rise to your feet. I still have all my fans. Yeah, that's right. He didn't stake my fans. It is a GG. As long as I have my OnlyFans, I'll be okay. Awake now. Awake. A new day calls and you must answer. However much it chafes you, if you continue on this road of drinking and dice, well, you've seen where it ends. What the blazes is that infernal racket? It sounds like someone dragging an anvil across a brick road. No, it's nothing, just my hangover. But then again, didn't I hear screams last night? Or was it a nightmare? The kettle drum in my head feels like the result of a pint of absinthe. I thought I gave that up ages ago. No telling what mix of alcoholic concoctions went down my gullet. But at least I'm alive. Anyway, my luck has finally changed. Thanks to my brilliant turn at the tables last night, I can at least square my debts with Molly. No! What is this cursed nonsense? Where are my blasted winnings? No one steals from Atticus Daily. But I better clear my head before I try to recover my wealth. Hark! Is that a rumble in the pipes? Or that scraping noise again? This time of day, the Velvet Rose should be quiet as a church. Sounds like it's coming from the next room. Perhaps the thief is still on the premises. I must investigate. Who could have done it? Certainly not me 10 minutes ago. Oh my god. Bugger all. There's a sight to blast even my jaded senses. The hump of a cadaver and a sprawling pool of blood. From one juddering instant, I fear that the body is Clara Reed, but no, it's someone else. She's bathed in red. A darker red than floor or in walls. That creeping murderer who's been at large in London must have struck again, just a few steps from where I was sleeping. There's an unmistakable sense of bergamot in the air. And the furniture is in disarray. That explains the scraping noise I heard earlier. Bergamot? Extracted from a dwarf variety of the Seville orange tree, used in cosmetics and flavorings in tea. I shall investigate this murder. Marks on the floor. This chiffonier was dragged across the floor where it stands. Explains the scraping that which woke me before. Can't be. Ariana. Her lifeless body lying in a pool of blood. Blast it all. I could crush the skull of whoever was responsible. But nothing can be done at the moment. Feels like a lifetime ago, but we were together once. Did she bring out the best in me? At the very least, I swilled and gambled less when she was around. I ruined things with us, and now she's dead. Bloody crow, if only I were a trained detective, then I'd sure get to the bottom of this terrible business with alacrity. I'll do what I can, but I can't be sure I'm the hero of this particular tragedy. This is all too much. I need to leave this place. Out the window. 2 lofty stories from here to the hard cobbles below. Could it have been a cat burglar? Or perhaps something with a natural climbing ability? Well, that's all I can investigate in here. Let's puzzle out the crime scene. Taking the whole scene into account, it strikes me that a few items were knocked over as if the result of a struggle. And the chiffonier was dragged from its usual place. Could this room's disarray have been staged for some reason? I think it was a suicide. She stabbed herself. Oh, I can't go into the back room of the brothel. Can't imagine why not. Madame Zora, you! What are you doing slinging up there? Report the crime. You've undoubtedly heard about the courtesan killer. I'm sorry to report he struck again. They're in this room at the top of the stairs. What are you trying to say? I thought that was pretty obvious. Open up your ears, woman. There's a corpse upstairs, and it looks like it's left over after a day of making sausages at the slaughterhouse. But, oh, not the courtesan killer. I'd wager my left horn, madam. It's an awfully bloody sight there. Saints above, this is troubling. Troubling indeed. When word gets out, we could be ruined. I will let the girls know. We'll have to close our doors. Do anything that might point to the killer? I believe I do. In fact, I'd tell you for nothing it's a werewolf or some other deviant behind all this carnage. What else could it be? Interesting. Do explain. You've seen the newspaper reports, no doubt, and you've seen it with your own eyes. What sort of creature could do such a thing? Those with lycanthropy are only dangerous during a full moon. Perhaps. But a partial transformation is not unheard of, or even a full changes in the immediate days that follow and precede the full moon. Madam certainly seems to know more about the matter than me. Regardless, with the trauma induced by each transformation, one's noble restraint gets gradually looser. The body upstairs was certainly torn to shreds, as if the poor dolly was clawed to death. Take note of her scattered attention. Excuse me, but are you muttering under your breath? I haven't the slightest, what was that? Are you tallying sums in your head right now? A woman was slaughtered not 20 yards from where you're standing, and not long ago either. Well, didn't you wake up high and mighty this morning? I am running a business here, sir. And who are you? Just another John who wandered in off the street. This is a job and my girls rely upon it to pay their way. Perhaps so. Though it still seems unduly callous to me. Also, I was robbed. I have to tell you, I've been robbed right here in your fine establishment. Last night I was flush with capital, but I woke up a pauper. I don't know anything about that, except that it was probably the dolly you were with that robbed you. Anyway, what kind of dullard falls asleep in a bordello? A drunk kind? I kind of assumed it happened often, what with the beds. Perhaps I shouldn't have trusted Miss Reed, but I was overcome with such fatigue I couldn't help but fall asleep. Now I must tend to my own troubles, madam, and leave this shambles in your capable hands. Run along, bold man. Whatever business you had here is finished. What is this notice? No dogs, cats, or other excitable animals allowed inside. And it goes on, deep into the details. The man must really care for the rules set about here. Equally excitable. What's that supposed to mean? At least there's no mention of minotaurs. I'm not finding a whole lot of evidence. I'm not looking super hard. Maybe the murder weapon's dropped in the spittoon. It's a pail of tobacco juice. Must have seen lots of coves. Or perhaps a single chaw spittering waiting for his perfect match. Gross. Clementine. Atticus, look at the state of you. Bit less of the old bonhomie then than I'd hoped for. Let's just scream about the murder. I feel like no one's doing enough about it. There's been a murder upstairs, and the body is a pile of bloody carpet rags. Might be the handiwork of the courtesan killer, so-called. Thought you should know. That's got her rattled. Don't know if I've ever seen Clem that way. Upstairs, right under our noses. Who? Who was it? Atticus? Ariana Luttrell. No, the sweet girls say it ain't so. I'm afraid it is, Clem. I knew her too. No one likes to be the bearer of bad news, but it's clear Ariana was well liked at the Rose. Last, all I gotta say is that the loon better steer clear of Clementine. You try something like this again, I'll stick a ship so far up his guts you can pick his teeth with it. Ha! I like that. Let's see. Ask about Penny. About good old Penny. Didn't you say she was coming around? Penny couldn't make it, but I didn't hear from her. She said her boss, Dr. Clancy Wainwright, knows more about the patients in Bethnal House, names and identities and such. That's the man you want, but she wasn't sure where to find him on his day off. That's what I need, more hoofing around town. She said you might check at Nandy's shop in Sora Square. Apparently Dr. Wainwright's been consulting Nandy for a secret project. Much obliged. One other thing. Listen, mate, I hate to kick a minotaur when he's down, but you gotta be on your way. Respect Clem in the establishment, despite everything. Of course, I respect you as I respect this establishment, even if I've been thoroughly put out here as of late. Wait, you're griping daily. It's unbecoming of a minotaur. Listen, I was robbed. Clem, I was cleaned out. Crikey, you've a knack for getting into trouble. You at least know who ran off with your readies. Well, after my night upstairs with Clara Reed, I woke up skinned. Every last farthing I wanted the tables is gone. No idea what it's about. Still behaving like you're some young pup in from the counties then. Can't believe Miss Clara would have done it, though I've been wrong before. There's a reason gentlemen don't hang around about here after hours. I'm certain it was Clara Reed who robbed me. The question is why? And what about this long-lost mother of yourn? Penny's put her job at risk asking around on your behalf. You're right, tracking down Matilda is more important than the money. Womp womp. Penny and I aim to help you if we can, but like I said, we can't make any promises. I'd better get about my business. Watch out for yourself. Here's hoping I see you on better footing, Master Daly. Till next time. Jimmy. What's he doing here? Molly's ward healer and debt collector is waiting for me with a vinegary look on his gob. Old Jemmy is a hardened bruiser. I hope for my sake he's not here about my debt to Molly. The bar is empty except for the brick wall of a minotaur in the doorway. One hand on his weapon, a meat cleaver fit for a giant's chopping block. Let's try to soften him up. Oh my goodness. It's not gonna work. Jimmy, if I don't miss my guess, you're a gin-drinking minotaur, right? I ain't come here for a chinwag. Mistress Molly sent me to offer you a favor. She's generously arranged for you to work off some of your outstanding debt. Look at the size of this bloodthirsty brute. Somehow I always forget just how intimidating old Jemmy is. Hold my head up high. You don't scare me, Jemmy, from one maverick to another. Just tell me what I need to know. Listen, me cully. I'll clear this up for you right now. We know Clara Reed fobbed your dosh. She's a dolly, isn't she? She's after one thing. Consider last night a reminder of that. I don't believe it. Yes, you do. You're not that daft. Or you never would have lived this long. Luckily for you, I happened to bump into Miss Reed and she was only too glad to hand over your dosh. Wings were never yours to begin with. Molly arranged the whole thing. So what's the problem? Sounds to me like you still got your money, so Molly and I are at quits. You think so, you mug? I told you, Molly arranged the whole thing. She put Lefty Braun at your table. The famous card sharp. I should have known, but I was too drunk on winning and gin. Money or no, she did you a favor, so why don't you see her what you can do for her in return? Blast, Molly always gets her money's worth one way or another. Very well, since you haven't cut me in half yet, I assume you're going to tell me how I can make this right. First smart thing you've said today. Go talk to Molly at the tavern. I suggest you clean the wax out of your ears first. He wants to give you this assignment personally. Let's go. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes.